Chaos reigns in the Smith household, and their car, as we dive into an episode packed with absurdity. Francine claims the backseat is her sanctuary because, let's face it, roads are overrated. Meanwhile, Stan proclaims the front seats are reserved for athletes, teasing Steve for his recent foray into rugby. This prompts Klaus, ever the grouch, to grumble about birds and how they deserve their twiggy nests. Jeff, on the other hand, champions birdhouse construction with the conviction of a man on a mission. Francine unveils her solution to female rage butchering classes. She blames it on people not minding their business, because who wouldn't rage over that? Hayley, ever the supportive daughter, decides to join her. Klaus, stuck in his own drama, laments the theft of his oboe by Buckle, forcing him to sit miles away from his crush, Piccolo playing Dinuetta, in the community orchestra. Roger, always the drama queen, has gone full maestro with a wig, tux, and a persona named Gunter Van Slice Biscuit. He's waving a baton, talking nonsense about orchestras and zoo tours, while Klaus mutters in despair. The orchestra, by the way, is a cacophony of random notes and misplaced ambitions, much like the Smith family dynamic. Stan's humor takes a dark turn as he begs Klaus for more orchestra details, claiming it'll give him a reason to drive off a bridge. Steve, fed up with the chaos, leaps out of the car in an epic fail. Roger, unbothered, demands to be chauffeured to the community center like royalty. Finally, the Smiths scatter, Francine and Hayley to their butcher knives, Klaus to his piccolo-less orchestra, and Jeff to save the birds. Stan drives off, muttering existential musings about rugby and European sports, leaving us with one burning question: who's really in charge here? Spoiler, definitely not Stan. In this chaotic, orchestra-themed car ride, Klaus is in a spiral of piccolo envy because Buckle swiped his oboe, leaving him to wrestle with the trombone, an instrument he dramatically declares is a million miles away from his piccolo crush. Meanwhile, Stan, our perpetually annoyed chauffeur, declares he'd rather drive off a bridge than hear another riveting tale about Klaus's orchestra drama. Francine, embracing her female rage, apparently best cured with a side of butchering, chimes in about nosy bitches not minding their business, while Hayley enthusiastically offers to join the butchering therapy group. Things get even weirder when Steve decides to yeet himself out of the car at every stop, yelling, "Up, we're here," before face planting on the ground. Classic Steve. Then there's Roger. Oh, Roger. Deeply committed to his latest persona, Maestro Gunter Van Slice Biscuit, Roger starts conducting the air like Beethoven reincarnated, while repeatedly popping up in the car in full tuxedo and wig, demanding to be dropped off in front of the building. Stan, confused and exasperated, keeps asking why Steve is acting weird, only to be met with more maestro antics. By the time Francine awkwardly thanks Stan for the ride and exits, Klaus continues his tirade about chirpy-ass sky rats, pigeons, apparently, and their nests. Stan's final act of patience is stretched thinner than a piccolo reed, leaving him alone in his car, probably wondering where he went wrong in life. Buckle up for another wild ride with the Smith family. Stan is cruising solo when Roger decides he's too fabulous to ride shotgun without his maestro persona, Gunter Van Slice Biscuit. Roger, now sporting a wig and tuxedo, demands to be dropped off at the community center, leaving Stan scratching his head and wondering why Steve is acting like he's auditioning for a slapstick comedy. Meanwhile, Klaus is having a meltdown over his stolen oboe. Naturally, he's been relegated to the trombone, which he dramatically declares is a million miles away from his beloved piccolo section where his crush, Dinuetta, plays. Jeff, ever the innocent, doesn't realize Klaus isn't actually musically talented and just joined the orchestra for proximity to the piccolo players. Klaus vents his frustrations, calling the local pigeons chirpy-ass sky rats who deserve their twiggy nests. Translation: he's over the birds and his musical misery. Francine, embracing her female rage, best managed with butchering classes, because why not, complains about nosy neighbors while Hayley eagerly signs up to join the carnage therapy. Steve, true to form, can't stay in one piece, jumping out of cars with the enthusiasm of a caffeinated kangaroo, repeatedly shouting, "Up, we're here," before face planting on the pavement. Classic Steve. Back in the car, Roger conducts an invisible orchestra with all the seriousness of a Broadway star, confusing Stan even more. Stan, desperate for peace, jokes about driving off a bridge if Klaus doesn't spill more orchestra secrets. But Klaus, ever dramatic, just sighs Jesus in exasperation. As the chaos continues, Francine awkwardly thanks Stan and exits the car, leaving him alone to ponder his life choices. Roger reappears, still stuck in his maestro role, conducting air like a pro while Stan contemplates the mysteries of European sports, Eiffel Tower, anyone. By the end, it's clear the Smith household is a symphony of hilarity, complete with misplaced instruments, butchering bravado, and Steve's acrobatic exits. Who needs a quiet family car when you have the Smiths?